Have you guys heard about the story about Millie Weaver?
I,
Um, refresh my
Because I
memory.
haven't seen it on indie media, and I think it's actually kind of interesting. So, Millie Weaver, she is a journalist for Inforwars, and she recently got
oh,
arrested on
okay.
a grand jury indictment. Like that sounds like some serious shit, you know. And it was, the big controversy about it is that she was arrested on the same day that her documentary was supposed to come out, and the documentary is called Shadowgate, right? And it's supposed to talk about expose the deep state, how it's meddling in our politics, and it's based off of, I guess she has two whistleblowers, and I
Hmm.
haven't personally seen it, but it was released a few hours after she was arrested. And so originally, what people were speculating was that she was arrested based because for burglary, right? So charges of burglary, but
Hmm.
they thought that it was because she had stolen government papers, right, for her documentary. Um, but then it turned out that it's regarding some assault on her mom. So in April, Millie Weaver, her brother, and her boyfriend or husband, I don't know if maybe at the time that was her boyfriend or whatever, but they were verbally assaulting the mom, right? And the mom started recording what was going on. And they saw that she was recording this, and they pinned her down to the ground. They threw her down to the ground, pinned her down, and stole her phone. And so then she ran away and she called the cops. And
Hmm.
so from this, now in August, they're coming after her with a grand jury indictment
Right.
for
Yeah.
burglary.
Right.
So it seems like it's a little excessive. And even the
Sure.
mom has come out, and the mom dropped the charges. She didn't want to continue. But the prosecutor said, I guess in the state of Ohio, you don't have they can continue on even if they don't have the support of the witness or whatever,
Right.
or
Yeah.
of the victim, they can continue on with the case.
Right.
And
Right.
so, and then the other part, when she was first arrested, they were saying that it was just all for show, so that she could get publicity for the documentary. But I don't know. So, and then a lot of people were obviously talking about how this is, like it's kind of like what happened with Julian Assange, right?
Exactly.
But you cannot compare the two, obviously,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Assange, I mean, technically they're both supposedly revealing or exposing government secrets,
Right.
right?
Right.
But I I mean, what they've done to Assange compared to her, I mean, yes, they arrested her on a Friday so that she would be in jail all weekend, you know what I'm saying? And they wouldn't be able
Right.
to see the judge until Monday. So, but you cannot compare that to the torture that Julian
Right.
Assange has been under
Yeah.
for how many years now? I think like 7 years, right? I
But
mean,
it's important if they get away with these little
right,
things. I mean, and again, I don't like Trump, but you didn't need an army to arrest Roger Stone, a 70-year-old guy and his deaf 70-year-old wife in a pre-dawn raid with assault weapons and and
right,
gunboats and helicopters.
right.
That the people ought to be outraged no matter what side that happens to, and they totally blow through the normal procedures just to send a message or
Well,
whatever.
the commonality here is that with Roger Stone, with Molly Weaver, and with Assange, is that they're all, to some or lesser degree, they are uh, journalists or investigators or people dealing with uncovering information about
Right.
our leadership or the government. And so that's what ties it all together. And the fact that they're going after these people just for like looking for something that'll stick, like the federal, the judicial part, whoever, somebody said we could convict a ham sandwich if we had to. So they can always find something to get you on. And in Assange, it was like these supposed rape charges that were dropped, right? And with
Oh, it's power
whatever, they'll
setting.
find something that's totally
Yeah.
uh, normally would probably be thrown out of court or whatever. It wouldn't go very
Yeah.
far, and they'll use that as a lever to go after these people. So the real crime, as far as they're concerned, is you're exposing corruption, or you're exposing, and it
Yeah,
just like Russia, right?
Yeah, the overkill also sends a message to anyone else that would potentially do it. It's like
It sends a message,
Exactly.
right?
Tulsi will tell you that they know, of course, she's not a Russian asset, but this constant going after her is basically sends a message to anyone else that'll step out of line. That will
Right.
basically call out the military-industrial complex that we will do this to you. And yes,
Right.
it's beyond all reason, and that's the point, that we can make everyone fall in line and attack you.
Right.
Exactly.
Well,
and I think it's very important that the people that they choose to do this to is always really important, right? They did it to Assange, right? Because it was easy to target him after the whole thing of 2016, because he was the bad guy at that time. So you don't care about, doing that to Assange because he's the bad guy now, right? Exactly the same thing with Alex Jones. Like, oh, he's some crazy kook, of course you want to go after people like that. And obviously with Millie Weaver, the fact that she's from Inforwars, I feel like that's a big reason why a lot of people are not talking about it, even though I think that this is something really, because it really is, to me, or at least to a good portion of people, it's sending the message, like what you were saying, that, you better, stay in your lane, and keep your eyes where it's supposed to go, and keep your mouth shut, or else or we're gonna ruin your life.
You could live a very happy life within our rules if you stay in your lane.
But if they choose these people who are generally not people that you were supposed to be feeling bad for, right? It makes it difficult for you to feel bad for them.
That's a good point.
Then you are more willing to say, oh, well, it's okay this time because it's them. Because Infowars, and that's another reason why when the arrest first happened, people didn't even think that it was true that she was arrested. They were like, no, we need to see the documents from the cops, that they actually did arrest her, because of the fact that they tried to discredit Infowars, which I'm not saying that Infowars is a credible, organization, but immediately that's what they go to do, is to discredit them, so that way you don't feel bad, and then you don't pay attention to the way that they infringe our civil liberties little by little. Right?
It's like Kamala Harris calling for, kicking Trump off tweet. It's that whole, like, at first they came for the communists or whatever,
But I think it does create this atmosphere of fear. So now, like, you're gonna think twice about going to a demonstration or whatever, because now they have this facial recognition technology, gait recognition, GAIT recognition technology, so they can identify who you are. You were at this demonstration. Oh, maybe we'll audit his taxes or something, or we'll do something to, like, harass them. And most people have, they're not like the Martin Luther King, or they're not like the Julian Assange. Like, they have a job, they have family, and they have all this stuff. They have those responsibilities, and they don't want to risk having even a minor, accusation or a lawsuit that could cause them to lose their job, or make them have to hire an attorney. They don't want to risk it, so they're going to think, oh, well, maybe I won't go to that demonstration because I'm up for a promotion on my job, and I don't want to screw everything up. I think that's the message it sends out, and people are like, they're afraid, they're intimidated about going out and actually demanding change, and oh yeah, you can vote for the candidate you want or whatever, but that's it.
Right. That's right. And then, of course, once we all get the COVID vaccine and we all have that microchip in us, then.
Well, but this also leads towards, and I believe in China they already have this, is the social credit score, right? So, if
That's
we
right.
are at that point where, you can't really do anything, like they control how much money. I remember, this is why I've told you that with UBI, it kind of scares me, because once we become dependent on the government, that the government is the sole delivery of or source of your funds, well, that is a lot of power to wield, right? And so that means that, what about if I do want to go to a protest and I do want to dissent, or, you know, like I want to expose something that's going on. Well, I mean, I might think twice about that because my funds might get cut off, you know, from
Interesting.
that.
Yeah.
And that is something, like I said, that is something that, you know, originally, I think it's something that I don't know if it was already in the works or whatever, but on Black Mirror, have you guys ever seen that show?
I have a couple
Oh,
times.
you gotta watch Black
Yeah.
Mirror, man.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. A lot of the episodes, it really, because it's supposed to be like essentially a technocratic dystopia.
Yeah.
And it's really well made, and a lot of the episodes have either come true, or there are certain aspects of it that you know that it is coming true.
Huh.
And one of the episodes, they did talk about essentially a social credit score, where and in China, the way that they have it implemented is that, like, they want to essentially they'll do like public shamings, where they'll put on a billboard, they'll put, like, if you did something wrong, you know,
Wow.
they'll actually put it on a billboard so that people know, you know, or you won't be able to travel on public transportation. Or,
Yeah,
you know, like
I thought I saw
nuts.
something. I thought I saw some article or a picture that basically implied that the police could essentially, with the right kind of face mask, visual goggles, whatever, could scan a crowd and it would pick out. It would show, like, people by a color, like what social score they had. Then they could spot the troublemakers. Like, right? Yeah, that's frightening stuff. That's as crazy science fiction as you get, right?
And you know the U.S. government, you know that they're not far behind.
You know,
Google and all these fuckers,
that they're
behind all together on it.
You know, you know they're on the forefront of getting that technology to China. You know they're doing it. They're working with them on it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
They can identify people who potentially will commit a crime, right? So they'll say, like,
"Well,
you fit the profile." Yeah, so
it's Minority Report. Yeah, you see.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's really crazy when life imitates art that way, you know. But
I mean,
it makes you think that, you know, these people, I guess if you can imagine it, then yes, it can come true, right?